And we're live. What's going on, guys? How are you today? We're back here with the Paranormal Mysteries podcast here on LEP Productions Facebook page. Got Jason in the house. What are you doing, buddy?
What's up? How's everybody doing on Sunday? Thanks for joining us. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this interview. This is going to be fun.
So am I. Who'd you bring with you?
Well, I'm going to let Dave introduce himself, but we brought our editor.
You're going to let Dave do Dave?
Misko. Yeah. we brought our editor.
Sorry, Dave.
And I know I've been talking about it the last day or two, and then I just went live a little bit ago to talk about it. I was introduced to Dave by Brian, who's on the team, to do some editing for us. As you guys know, we're filming, just going to start season 2, but we got together, Jay and I and Teresa. We've tried to put Paranormal Mysteries together for about 3 years, and we've finally put together the right pieces to the puzzle that we needed to make this work and do it the way we wanted it. And one of the big things, if you guys know about filming, is editing. Editing is all about telling the story. You can go and investigate. You can get great locations. You can put together a group of people to go in and ask questions and use all the stuff. But editing is key to be able to tell the story. And that is a huge part of Paranormal Mysteries, is the editing. And when I talked to Dave for the first time, he said he was very busy, but he'd love to do the editing for us, and kind of told him what Jay and Teresa and I had as far as a storyboard and a vision that we had for Paranormal Mysteries. Dave said, I'd love to do it. Let's do it. I'll do the editing for you. Because Dave has never done any kind of paranormal investigating. He's never stepped foot in stuff like this. So, when I said, I'd like to do 2 cameras, you want to roll a camera with me? He was absolutely, let's do it. And then it just kind of took off from there. To have Dave on our team with Paranormal Mysteries is just an amazing thing, because you're getting somebody that's never done it before. So the experiences that you're getting with Dave are all raw, they're all real. And to be able to capture that, and then to have him edit the episodes for us in a way that the story is told, to me, we hit a gold mine. I mean, Dave, he's become to me, as a family member to us, a very close friend, and we can't thank you enough for joining the team, Dave. And
I'll do it.
I'll let you just kind of introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are and what's going on with Dave.
Okay. Well, I'm Dave. I just turned 50. So had a nice birthday with the family, and it was about a year ago that Brian started talking to me about his work with LEP Productions and the Lake Erie Paranormal Team, and how much fun he was having. And it kind of went into, how do you feel about paranormal things? How do you feel about, ghosts and ghost hunting? Spent many nights watching the TV shows with my wife. We would lay in bed and we'd be watching, and kind of started looking at the possibilities of things that aren't very explainable, and what a nice experience that would be to do that ourselves. Well, my background, which started in high school, I started out as an intern for a local Toledo radio station. At the time, it was 92.5 WMHE, and then that turned into a part-time job, and I became a radio personality, and then found out that radio will drop you like a fly without batting an eye, and move on to to somebody else, a different voice, a different format that may or may not fit your voice. And so I moved into television, And my first job in television was at Fox 36, and I was actually hired to quality control television shows after they were picked up from feed off of the satellite. So the prime time show that was very popular at this time was Star Trek: The Next Generation. And I would have to pop the tapes in and record it, and then I would have to go back and view it to make sure it was good for broadcast, and then I would initial the tape for broadcast, and then I started editing and found out I really enjoyed it. All the while I was attending the University of Toledo. I got my bachelor's degree in broadcasting, and I minored in meteorology. I was going to be a weatherman. And
one of those guys.
Yeah, yeah. Making predictions that are half right. Then found out television is not really a money maker unless you're high in the office or the administration part of it, and got very good with the technology and moved into computers and computer networking, and landed a job as a technician for a small firm, which led to moving into a larger firm, and then that finally put me where I'm at today as the systems engineer for the entire Lucas County Public Library system. And I oversee everything that has to do with the technology, the data and voice communications for the library, the data and network security of the library system as a whole. I've had the privilege and the honor of being recognized by the Office of the Vice President of the United States. I got a commendation from former Vice President Joe Biden. I also have a flag that is on display in my honor by allowing a gentleman who was stationed in Afghanistan to witness his father become a natural citizen, and he was on a Skype call, and he was able to see his dad, and see his dad become a naturalized citizen of the United States. So in recognition of my work, my background in broadcasting and merging technology with it, there's a United States flag that's on display at the Lucas County Courthouse. So technology and broadcasting, it was a kind of a natural merging for me, and I enjoy it. And back to Brian coming to me, he said, hey, we need an editor. We need somebody with your background and your skills. And would you be interested? And I talked it over with my wife, Candy, and she says, well, if you can juggle it, I'll support, that you do that. And now I think we've been on 5, 6 investigations together.
6, yeah.
Yeah. And having a wonderful time, enjoying myself, getting some questions answered, most of all. But other than that, it's been a fun ride. And you're right, Jay, you said it's family, and the Paranormal Mysteries Team has become a family to me. So we stay in touch regularly. We know about each other's lives and families, and it's a nice group to be a part of.
Well, Dave, I don't know if you're allowed to talk about it or not, but going back to the other things that you do, I know that you've also helped local law enforcement do some things as well with your abilities to be able to track certain things and stuff like that. I know that a lot of it's case sensitive and you can't talk about it, but I'm just trying to bring it to people's attention that it's a lot more than just the security stuff that you do at the library. Law enforcement reaches out to you. Other agencies have reached out to you because of how good you are at what you do, to help them track and find different people or different things.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know if you're allowed to
Oh, yeah,
talk about that, but
I'll try to generalize a few things, but I have worked with the Federal Bureau of Investigation and helped them with some monitoring and looking at some communications that were going around, especially in the wake of 9/11. I have had the privilege of being a part of, like I said, the Office of the Vice President of the United States of America. I was on that communication team to help to secure communication lines between where the Vice President was and on location during a campaign, and keeping things, with the Office of the Vice President and direct lines of communication. Those are secure network channels that I had to set up. On criminal side of things, I have used my background to help find 2 missing young ladies and was successful in both. Those were positive outcomes. One young lady just latched on to a gentleman and packed her things and left, and her parents needed to find out where she was, and we got into her email accounts and we were able to backtrack and figure out who she was talking to and where she was located. And then just recently I helped a family reunite with their 15-year-old daughter that up and left very early on a Sunday morning, and we looked at her social media usage. We got into her cell phone. We were able to figure out where she was going. We tracked her and kind of put puzzle pieces together and found out that she was just kind of harboring up with a friend of hers that was somewhat of a love interest, and she just wanted to escape and be with that person. And but we were able to kind of go through things and find out where she was located, and things started to add up, and I'm glad the family was able to get their daughter back.
Absolutely. That's amazing. That's cooler than heck. Be able to be a part of that and help out with things like that. That's something I could only imagine doing. I can barely operate Facebook, so I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, that's it's very cool for you to be able to help law enforcement and help families and things like that. Like I said, I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention as well.
There's so many multifaceted, and that's, I'm going to say it. I'll see what your opinion is, Dave and Jason. I think that's one of the things that also helps out with our Paranormal Mysteries project, that we're so multifaceted with different interests, different things, not only with backgrounds, but with our skill sets and everyday life. We also bring different perspectives from religious aspects, and everybody comes from different teams and things. And it's bringing all that together. I think that's really a core of what brings us together. Is our diversities that we have.
Well, and that's what we were saying. It took 3 years.
Yeah, oh yeah.
To be able to put this team together, to do it the correct way, to do it the way
correct
that we
guys.
wanted, to do it the way we wanted it done. I mean, you have to have the right group of people to work together, because there's, you're on location for hours and hours and hours, and everybody has different ideas on how to do it, and you have to be able to leave your ego and everything at the door and be able to work with everybody and trust. Dave and I do the majority of the camera work. I know that, Jay, you do some, but Dave and I do the majority of the camera work and the camera angles and what we're trying to put together. And it's key to have somebody that you can trust and work with, and have the vision that Dave and I have together to be able to figure things out and to do different stuff. And I'm honored to work with Dave. I think that he was a great asset, and
absolutely.
The exclamation point to Paranormal Mysteries, and is one of the main reasons why it runs so smoothly and the episodes are put together. I mean,
I like how you cringe
amazing.
whenever you hand
It's
me
amazing.
the camera. Huh, Dave?
What's that?
You're talking about the angles on that stuff, and it seems like every time I see Dave's never handed me the camera, but when you hand me the camera, look at Dave. Every time over my corner of my eye, I see him go, "Oh God," because he's got to try to edit that crap.
That is not true.
Oh God,
I
Jay's
may-
gonna do something
I may
stupid.
think that. I may think that.
Jay's got the camera up their nose. I don't want to see up their nose hairs. Get away.
I'll tell you from you take the footage and with 2 cameras and many times a lot of our investigations are multiple sessions, and we go 45 minutes at minimum. We go 45 minutes to sometimes almost an hour and a half of captured footage on 2 cameras, trying to capture multiple angles, trying to get all members of the team involved, and to take that footage, and you can't just review it one time. You need to go through that, not only for the content of what you're seeing, but you've got to look for the evidence that you're capturing too. And then once you have that and you have that mark, you have to make that an episode that somebody can say that was worth watching, and somewhat tell a story behind it. And episode 2, I'll come out now and say it. And Candy's sitting close by. She can, my wife, she can vouch for this. I was ready to give up on that episode, and because I just said I don't see the story. And finally, I started again, continuing pressing on and watching the footage. I started to see the common theme was these personal experiences that we were all having, and especially Tina. I've never witnessed prior to that someone that got, for lack of a better word or set of words, beat up like she did. Whatever was there, whatever was spirit that was part of that school really targeted her, and they were relentless. And then, Jason, I know you had a moment where you had to step out of the room. You thought you were going to vomit and be ill. I started to feel hot, so it moved away from you. It went on to me. I felt uncomfortable. And then after seeing that footage, I went back to the beginning again and watched it over. And then I was able to grab these little segments and little foreshadowing that was happening during the historical part of the tour of the building and kind of piece this together. And then we have this final episode that was put together that was really, showcasing that there is definitely something in that building that doesn't like individuals messing or playing around in what is their domain. And I think they let us know that.
Well, I think if I'm, and you can always ask Austin, but I think that we were one of the first teams that ever actually went into that location and started to investigate and started trying to make contact with some of the spirits that are there. So it may have just been an overload, because that's what it felt like to me. It felt like there was just so much energy going on in there, and it was just such a big overload that it was messing with a lot of different people. What I liked about that episode was when I was feeling hot and nauseous and whatever, and I handed the camera to Jay and I walked out, unbeknownst to me until after it was all done, that without any of us talking to each other, you and Jeff were having similar situations in the same room that I was having. So it was like it's putting out all the pieces together and actually able to say, this was happening to multiple people and they were feeling all the same things at the same time, and none of us are sensitive. And the ones that weren't really feeling a whole bunch. And then it comes back full circle. So, I mean, I don't know. That episode was pretty cool. I enjoyed your reaction on our first episode at the Haunted Hydro, because you were having experiences there that you had never had before. So for me, looking at it, standing off and filming your reactions and your responses, that to me is priceless, because when you get somebody that's never had these experiences and out investigating, and then you start seeing and feeling different things, to be able to capture that to me is, I enjoyed that the most so far.
I think with episode 2, going back to that real quick, that the story that you put together there, Dave, and what you're talking about, trying to find the story in it, because 90% of the people, when they watch, actually 98% of the people, when they watch these paranormal shows, they're looking for paranormal evidence. They're looking for us to present what we claim as credible evidence, whether it be an EVP or equipment, catching things on equipment movement or whatever. But that episode has very little actual physical evidence, whether it be an EVP or something respond on the to the REM pod or whatever. Just you name piece of equipment. It was all an experience and a personal experience, and a lot of shows will not show that side. If they don't have evidence, they don't usually put that out there. And still staying with that episode and putting that together and showing that on a personal level, absolutely, you've done a phenomenal job with that. I think that's probably one of my favorite episodes. And I'm not just saying it because it's ours. It's just a perspective that a lot of other places and a lot of other teams that are doing the filming will not put out there because they don't have their evidence. They don't want to make it look personal. But I think that's just as much a valid of a point of paranormal investigating as anything else. And you my opinion, put one hell of an episode together, because I know what we went through with it, because we had some of our evidence, like audio was we had to tank it because we had some interference and things like that. It was a very rough one to do and put together, and I think you kicked its ass. My opinion.
Yeah, no, for sure. You're absolutely right. It's
a little blunt, aren't I?
Well, I mean, if it's not there, it's not there.
Yeah.
And you can't force something to happen.
But you can't dismiss what did happen.
Exactly.
So it's
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's, I saw shadows moving there. That was, I guess I was more worried about Tina than anything, because I had never seen somebody, go through an experience like that. And, how do you respond? And, being a sports coach for my kids, I've had to go through some training and, how to respond to injuries and things like that. And I guess the coach part of me kicks in, and I just want to go help somebody if, they're not themselves. And Tina took a right hook that night, and she bounced back. That was pretty amazing that she did that. But there's some things that were left unanswered there. The episode certainly is ended very open. And I don't know if we are ever going to go back there, but that would be one worth
revisit.
We will definitely be back in 2020.
Yeah,
for sure.
Before we get too far down the list here, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Kendra Hatley Auger asked, "Do you ever feel like you are ready to run for your life? Lessons to it." I've never felt in a situation yet that I was physically threatened or my life was threatened yet.
No, go ahead, Dave.
As a first-time investigator, I don't think I have yet had myself in a situation where I was scared. I take it I have a job to do, and I'm here to, one, capture what I can capture with the camera work that I do, and then in the back of my mind, I need to put myself in places that, where you kind of throw yourself back as a viewer, and what would a viewer want to see? And in episode 2, there was that room that was off the boiler room, and I remember Jeffrey Morgan just saying, I do not want to go anywhere near that room. And everybody was feeling cold and stuff. And what did I do, Mr. Rookie? The second investigation, it's like, guys, part the ways. I'm coming through with the camera, and I need to get into that room. And that was just fearlessness, that someone may have called that stupid.
No, to me, it puts you right there with me and Jason. You just earned your Crash Test Dummy logo.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's places that somebody has to go, and I guarantee you, I know that looking at these three faces right now on the screen, I guarantee you it'll be one of these three every time. Somebody else may go with them, but one of these three will be leading the way, and it doesn't matter. And it was cool to see you step up and do that, and to lead the way on that one. And that's another thing about the dynamics of Paranormal Mysteries, that there is no this person has to lead and this person has to lead. The people do what they feel they need to do, and the other people support them. If Tina's getting information, we follow her lead. If you feel that feeling that you need to go somewhere, we follow Dave. There's no one person that says, "Oh, I'm the leader of this team." It's not. It's a team. It's a camaraderie. It's a family. It's a group. We all work together, and a very, very good cohesion, and that's cool. And to see you step up that quickly, because most people would freak out. They're like, "Oh, why? Why don't you feel like that?" You didn't. You went into it. You questioned it. You went to approach it, to experience it. Phenomenal to me. That's absolutely phenomenal that quickly.
Absolutely. I think it shows the character of the team. And like you said, Jay, one of us is going.
Yeah.
If not all three of us.
Yeah.
To answer the question from earlier, I did have an experience where I thought I was done investigating. I took probably 2 or 3 months off of investigating, but I'm back. But
He's back.
It kind of comes to the thing with be careful what you ask for, because you might just get it.
Yep. And
that's what I was doing. I was investigating a new location and doing that kind of stuff, and you ask and ask and ask. Now, it wasn't a demonic thing or it wasn't an evil thing, but you keep asking to see different things, and then when it finally shows itself to you and you see it for the first time, it definitely messed me up. Mine was a child at a location that showed himself to me, and that messed me up for a couple of months. I've talked about it numerous times, but since then we actually went after it to try to find out where it was or whatever, but I've never been chased out of a location. I've never been like scratched or drugged down a hallway or anything like that, but
we keep asking for it.
You in particular, you open yourself
I can't
as a
keep
vessel and things like that. I don't ever do it because that's
You're
something
smart.
that's your thing. No.
You're
I'm
Kmart smart.
far from smart.
I keep watching that blue fish swim behind Dave's shoulder. It's a pretty blue fish with a yellow tail. Beautiful fish.
Yeah, that's my hobby. Wait a minute. Yeah.
Time out here. Yeah, there it is. Beautiful.
Oh, that's the fish from the Disney movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nemo.
That's called a blue hippo tank.
A hippo? It don't look big enough to be a hippo.
Yeah.
If I was in a gang, that would be my nickname.
Hippo Tang?
Yeah. What's up, Hippo Tang? What's up, y'all?
But you say a hobby. Let me see. Now, you work full-time job plus. You have a wife and 3 beautiful daughters. You're helping with sports. You're helping with broadcasting there. You're helping us with filming. You're doing editing. And on top of all this, he does a saltwater aquarium. Of course he does, because, it's just a hobby.
Right? Because saltwater aquariums are so easy to maintain.
Oh, yeah. And expensive. I think Candy would vouch for that.
Expensive, very.
Where's Candy? Where is she?
She's off camera.
She's in the living room. She does not want me to flip the camera. She's in an earshot. She's right here. Yeah.
Hey, real quick. It's the halfway part of the show. We appreciate you listening to LEP Productions, Paranormal Mysteries Sunday. We are here with Dave Misko, our editor, camera. He does it all for us, and we appreciate him being on. Also, if you like Bigfoot, if you like cryptid, if you like anything like that, I got a spot for you to go check out. Squatch GQ magazine. They accept Bigfoot stories and research evidence from anyone that wants to tell a story or show it. Their yearly subscriptions for the printed copies are $99.99. For a single print copy, $12.99. And for the digital downloads are $2.99. You can check them out and get all that information at www.squatchgqmagazine.com. Also, the time is now, 2020, Bigfoot Conference, July 18th at the Wyndham Garden Hotel in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Doors will open at 9 o'clock. Guests so far are Charlie Raymond, Leanne Carnegie, Mark DeWorth, and Chatan Noir. Tickets are $35. More info on that, you can call 734-512-3988. And if you're there, you just might get to see Bodine. I hear he's going. I hear he's going to be at the conference. If we can get enough moon pies to get him there, I think he's going to make an appearance.
He's a moon pie eating freak.
I also want to say there's a couple of birthdays, and I did have it written down, and I know Leanne said it was her birthday, and honest to God, Leanne, I had it written down to tell you happy birthday today. First and foremost, happy belated to, again, our editor, Dave. Also want to give a shout out to James Balsamo with Acid Bath Productions. His birthday is today. He is actually one of the reasons why Bodine the Bigfoot is in Cool as Hell 2. So you can check that out at Acid Bath Productions. And then also, Leanne Hopper. So happy birthday to you guys. We appreciate you. We appreciate everything you guys do.
Heck yeah.
Now
man. Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Right? So Dave, let's talk about what's your most memorable experience so far filming with us here at Paranormal Mysteries?
I have two that stand out for me. Let's go back to episode 1. It was at the Haunted Hydro, and one of our special guests that was helping us with that investigation was Deb Baker. And Deb, as what was told to me is, Deb helps out there during the fall, and especially as a haunted attraction. She's one of the people that, works there, knows the building, and she told the story of the little girl that always comes to her. And if those that have watched the episode will recall the merry-go-round. Those that have not yet seen the episode, I encourage you to go watch it. It's on our YouTube page. There is a period of time with Deb, myself filming, and Brian are at the location of the merry-go-round, and Deb takes her flashlight, and she sets it on the seat of one of the merry-go-round horses, and she calls for this little girl to come and to turn her flashlight on. The first time I saw that light turn on, it kind of cocked my eyebrow. That was interesting. Then it happened to get shut off, and she turned it on again. I mean, it's like 4 times this flashlight went on and off. And after it was over, I said, okay, there's something going on with this light. Deb's got some type of trigger in her pocket, something. Because I've seen it on the regular, cable TV shows. And so I thought, he's got to be doing this. There's some little magic behind it. So I went and I picked up her flashlight. I actually took her flashlight apart. And Deb, you're probably just realizing this now for the first time. I took your flashlight apart. I wanted to see what was causing that light to turn on and off. And I'll tell you what, to this day, I still cannot figure that out. There was some type of energy that took place in that location at that specific time that caused that light to turn on and off the way that it did. And to me, seeing it on TV is one thing, but to witness it firsthand and see it and then examine it afterwards and realize that something some energy caused that light to turn on, turn off the way that it did. That was a very remarkable and memorable experience for me. And I won't ever forget that. I'm glad we caught that on video. That was a huge, huge personal experience for me. The second one, Jay, involves your wife. And
She's like that.
Yeah. We were at Ashmore Estates in Ashmore, Illinois, and as a team, we went out to dinner at, I think it was Yoder's Buffet, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
That's correct.
And we were there with Robin, the members of the team. There was another individual there that was sharing stories with us that knew that we were in the area. Well, anyway, after I ate, food was delicious, but something didn't agree with me. I don't know what it was, but I excused myself not once, but 3 times. I thought I was going to throw up. And finally, when we decided to leave, I said to Brian, I said, buddy, I need to go back and lay down. And, you know, I think we had maybe a 45-minute relaxation moment, but in my mind, that was not enough. And then we drove to the site to start our investigation at Ashmore State. And I told Brian, I said, I have no idea how I'm going to get through a 6-hour night of filming when I don't feel well. Well, Teresa noticed when she saw me that I looked pale. And she says, are you all right? And I said, no, I feel sick. I don't know if I'm going to be able to last through the night. And Teresa, she said, come here for a minute. And she put her hand on my back. Her left hand was on my back. Her right hand went to my stomach. And she started pulling. And I don't know what she did, but I went from feeling like I was ready to call it a night to we did what, 3? Well, no, we did more. We did almost 5 hours of investigating that night. I went through the whole night. I didn't have a single problem. I felt fine. I felt great. Whatever she did,
voodoo.
She all voodoo, whatever. She took that feeling that I had. She took that away from me, and I still tell people that story, that I have never gone from ready to call it a night within 5 minutes of arriving to an investigative location to let's get this over with, and you know, the hours just flew by, and we did a complete investigation that night. And then we came back the next day and we shot some more.
Yeah, it was a good event that night. It was a good time investigating. And that's part of her energy healing. She loves what she does there. She's passionate about that. And I make fun of it and say voodoo and witchery and all that stuff, but it's called fire pulling. It's like Reiki. It's energy healing and energy transference and healing. She does a great job with it, and I'm proud of what she does. But she's not listening, so I can say all the nice things.
Well, that was a remarkable and memorable night for me. And I do have a story about Tina. I think she's watching right now. You know, you always hear about mediums and abilities and stuff like that. And Tina hit the nail on the head with me when we were at the Westwood School. And she knew, without me ever telling her, that I lost a brother when I was 18 years old. She told me that he is following me around. She knew about his red truck, which was a Toyota red truck. And then the other thing that was recent is the director of the library where I work suddenly died. And she picked up on that. You know, so if you ever,
this hallway,
I guess my advice is, if you ever want to test a medium, don't do it. Because, you know, if they're good and if they're sensitive and they can really pick up on that stuff, they're gonna get it. They're gonna grab it, and they're gonna bring it out. And that night, Tina didn't have a whole lot of time with me. That was only our second time together, but she nailed it. So my hat's off, and both Tina and Teresa have a lot of points were earned on those days with me. So we're lucky to have them on the team.
Oh, I agree 100%. And that's the thing with Paranormal Mysteries is there's so many different things that are put together to put this puzzle together to make what we have. From, like Jay said earlier, from religious beliefs to psychic mediums to skeptics to first timers to with Brian with the Indian background and that kind of stuff. I mean, there's just Native American and that kind of, there's just so many different elements involved in this team, and that's what makes it.
And the respectability. That's something I got to really commend there that I've never in my life, no matter what I've done, even with doing other charity things and other groups that I've worked with outside the paranormal things, seeing the respectability for each other's beliefs and backgrounds. That absolutely rings true so well. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's such a cohesion, that even when we disagree with one another, and we got an episode coming up where Jason and Tina see different things on some evidence, and we're going to put both sides of it out there. But even when we disagree with each other, there's such respect for one another, even in the disagreements, that makes things such a different level, in my opinion. It truly does. It brings such a difference.
And they're not nasty disagreements.
They're respectful.
Right. I think this. Well, I think this. Well, maybe it is, but this is my. It's never. No. It's never. Well, I don't care what you say. My thing's right and you're wrong, and that sort of thing. So
then we do tease each other a little bit in a fun, loving way, but it's still done in complete respect.
Absolutely.
I mean, I feel that way about it. I think and it's. And Dave, I got some silly little things I want to do. I want to learn editing and stuff. And when he started showing Teresa what some of the things he's got to do with Larry and all that stuff, she looked at me. She goes, "Oh no, you can't do this." And which at first it kind of like not that it pissed me off, but it kind of pissed me off inside. Going like, "Tell me what I can and can't do." And then she got looking in the show and thought, "Well, you did." I'm like, "Yeah, I ain't got the patience for that much shit." But you're doing multi-cameras and everything else. I'm doing one single shot.
Yeah.
But that's why I thought, well, I'm going to keep for my little things that I do, my little skit things, I'm going to keep doing like we've been doing. It's a one-shot take, man. It's from you either get it right or you don't get it right, and it's done.
Yeah, it's the editing process it's tedious. I will admit that I'm OCD when it comes to editing. That it's got to look right. It's got to line up, correct. Especially 2 cameras, 2 different microphones that are being used. That audio all has to be perfect and lined up. And I know Brian sat in the editing chair with me on the last 2 episodes, and I know he can appreciate what I have to go through just to line up those shots. And then, angles change. And, I know there's a lot of camera movement when it comes to an investigation, especially when you're filming an investigation. There's a lot of camera movement, and sometimes things get out of focus. And then the question is, what is that other camera doing at the exact moment that the one camera's moving? Is it a clean shot? Is it capturing something? Is it worth actually cutting to that other camera while the first camera is reestablishing a new shot? So all that has to play into the editing process that I do, and what I go about in determining whether or not a shot is worthy enough to put into an episode. So careful consideration goes into everything, and the angles and stuff. And I never manipulate something just to try to prove a point or say something that happened that didn't. Everything that is edited is real. It's what took place on those locations, and there's no camera trickery. There's no special effects that are put into place, because nowadays with the technology that's out there, adding smoke when there really isn't smoke, or a flash of light that suddenly appears that was never there in the original shot, and then somebody says, "What was that?" I think one of the most comical things that we ever filmed that we did put in an episode was actually in our very first teaser that we did, was Tina and Teresa sitting next to each other at the merry-go-round, and they heard a noise. You don't know as a viewer, because you're watching the teaser, what that noise was, and he's like, "All right, what the fuck was that?" and that
Tina, nice and calm.
It had to go in there, because that was that draw to all of our new watchers and fans of Paranormal Mysteries. You finally, in that episode, you got that question answered, is what was that? What was it that took place? What did we hear? What happened at that moment? And those are the fun parts about editing.
But that's something else that I said that you're editing that you capture really well, and that we do with Paranormal Mysteries. Those little things like that we leave in there. We leave our little spoofs in there. We leave some of them, not all of them, because then it would be nothing but a comedy reel. And we are damn serious about what we're doing here. We're damn serious about finding out what we find, or evidence, or anything like that. But we also show the side of us where we're still people, and that was such a role reversal for anybody that knows Teresa and Tina. Usually, it would have been Tina to freak out and Teresa to be calm. They were completely flipped that time. It was so fun.
Yeah.
That's what makes it even funnier, because they were completely out of character.
Between that and the question mark,
Oh,
it had to.
See, I was hoping you won't bring that up.
The question mark over your head, that had to stay.
There's a lot of subtle things that do appear. I think the question mark was a huge Easter egg. I'll admit that wasn't intentional at first, and then
it was when Jason filmed it.
Yeah, Brian brought it to my attention and said, he goes, "You have no idea how funny that is," and then finally, yeah, it needed to stay in there.
But I even had that dumbass look on my face of like, duh, because I was so intently watching what Tina and Teresa were saying. I wasn't paying attention. I'm just like, huh? Shut up, Jason.
But it's like what you said. Everything that we do with Paranormal Mysteries is real, raw footage.
Absolutely.
And it's meant to
make you
tell a story about the location and show what happens. Now, when we do Bodine the Bigfoot, or we do Jezebel, or we do, J Smelly Squared, or we do anything like that, that is completely separate from Paranormal Mysteries.
Absolutely.
Those are fun things that we do, and shows the comedy side of that. But Paranormal Mysteries is all real. It's all, it's cut. And the other thing that I wanted to say about Dave is, working in the movie industry and stuff like that I've done for quite some time now, when you get an editor, or something, this is the way it's cut, this is the way it is, that's the way it's put it out. With Dave, he will cut an episode, and we all try to help with, finding evidence and that kind of stuff. But once Dave's done with the episode, Dave then sends it to the group and says, watch it, pick it apart, see what you like, see what you don't like, see if we need to make changes, and that is all part of what we talked about earlier about egos and leaving them at the door. And hey, what do you guys like? What don't you like? Should we change? Should we do this? Should we do that? And everybody on the team has the opportunity to say, hey, I really like that, or hey, what about this? And then Dave takes all that and does more with it. And again, another commendable thing that you're doing as the editor of this is putting it out there for us to be able to look at it and say, well, let's change this, or let's do this. And there's no problems. It's all right, let's do it. And everything changes, and
teamwork,
and we move on from there. It's really the camaraderie that we have, and the bond and the family thing that we have here is really what's making this special. So,
and I truly believe that if Paranormal Mysteries all went away, we'd all still be together.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the way we become. That's the way we
Yeah,
become. It's not about our paranormal. It's about us. We give a shit about each other as a family member, as a friend, as a brother, as a sister, whatever. It doesn't matter. We care about their families too. We ask Susan, Dave, how's Candy? How's the girls doing? We actually care about each other's families on top of what we're doing outside here. And that makes a dynamic that a lot of people don't. They just look at their team as their team. They talk about being family, but we actually immerse ourselves into one another's families.
Right. I mean, we go out to dinner together. We've had cookouts at houses. We do more than just, hey, we're meeting for this.
We all didn't go with Jason to the drag show last night, though. He went by himself with his wife.
I went with my wife. But,
yeah.
And that's a fun time, man. It's a fun time.
I mean, not that I wouldn't go with him. Dave, would you?
If he had asked me, yeah.
Oh, God. Looks like it's going to be a night where we all get together and do a drag show.
Here we go. We're going to do one. We'll do one on a Saturday.
Jason and I, we live pretty close to one another. So, that's not a problem. Anytime.
I'm 2 hours away, man. That's an easy drive.
Yeah, well.
Right? I'm telling you, it's a good time.
I haven't called off in about 3 years now, so I guess it's time to call off from work and come up and go to a jag show with my brothers.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I'll do it.
Well, I want to thank you guys for including me the way that you have, especially this past year. You opened my eyes to some things that I never thought I would ever see, and I have been a part of, have witnessed. And your respect is very much appreciated. Although day one, investigation one, I kept hearing how my cherry was getting popped. I guess if there's a memory, there's another one. And that was a off-camera nightly thing that was said to me, and something that we'll joke about for a very, very long time. And just the opportunities that we will continue to have. And I guess it's okay to kind of flash forward a little bit. And one of our episodes that's coming up that we're going to be filmed is right here locally in the town in which I live. We're going to investigate a building that has some very, very strong presence. There's been a lot of good stories that have come out of this location, and I think it's going to be one hell of an investigation for all of us. I know we want to bring some family members to this because in a way they're involved. So I don't want to give away the location just yet, but we are green lit for this, and it's going to happen soon. And I'm really looking forward to hitting this one with you guys.
Oh, absolutely. And I was going to say that too, about what you just kind of hit on there about bringing our families with us. Episode 3 is coming up. Can we say the location, Jason, where we went?
Yeah, we can talk about episode 3.
Okay, episode 3 coming up, Haunted Bryan. We went to Bryan, Ohio, and that was one of the ones I'm looking forward to because we brought our significant others with us, our wives and our husbands with us and stuff, and had a great time. Tina had Bob up from Florida. I mean, Tanya was with him, and Candy came with you, and Heather came with Brian, and of course, Teresa's. I'm not going anywhere without Teresa, as we all know. I got a chaperone everywhere I go.
But you need a handler, bro.
Yeah,
you need a handler.
That was such a cool investigation, and I truly cannot wait to see how that one comes together because having everybody to have not only the camaraderie we have, but to have those people that are that close to us along with us also to get a share in those experiences and things. I absolutely cannot wait to see how this episode comes together. We're reviewing evidence now. It's just I'm looking forward to that one, and I can't wait for also episode 4, where you talked to kind of hint to earlier. We was out at Ashmore and the experience that you had during the day investigation.
Oh yeah,
I'm not going to give up more than that, but I'm telling you, there's 2 of them right there that don't get me wrong. I look forward to all of them, but those 2 right there, I'm like, okay, I'm biting at the bit on those. I'm like, how's this going to come together? How's it going to come together? Because you put together the last one so well with almost no evidence, just physical experience. I can't wait to see how this progresses. You got me excited, damn it.
Yeah, Bryan, Ohio. That was a good one because there was lots of different people having different things.
Tanya in the chat
where
room.
The safety coordinator was born. Yeah,
Tanya in the chat room.
And she was using the SLS.
Yeah.
And actually had something happen there. So I
think we should do one a season where we have significant others like that or family members come in, because I think that was such a cool, especially when you got new people coming in, you get a chance to teach and learn from each other. So I'll shut up. Sorry, Jason. Love you.
No.
I'm excited.
When we talked about putting that episode together, it was fun and it was a great idea, and I think we should.
It's a blast.
At least once a year, do an episode where we bring everybody in again, because it takes it to a whole nother level. It takes it to a bunch of different people having experiences, and again with different beliefs and backgrounds and everything else. And I'm looking forward to episode 3. I'm looking forward to all of them because there's something different in every single one. There's different things. You know, we did the whole taboo thing where we investigated Ashmore during the day. Like, oh my God, you can't possibly investigate during the day because spirits sleep all day. They're only up at nighttime.
Yeah, I'm going to comment on that real quick. I know we only have a few minutes left, but
Dave, we have all the time in the world. This is
okay. Let's go.
I'll ask a president of LEP Productions. Are we on a time limit?
Mr. Vice President, no, sir, we are not.
Okay.
that Ashmore was interesting to me because of the fact that I was surprised to hear you guys say at the end of the first night, let's reconvene early tomorrow and start again. And I thought from that, because again, my mind prior to Paranormal Mysteries was shaped by the Sci-Fi Channel and the Travel Channel, and watching those shows and how they did things, how they locked themselves into buildings, and again, that's all that drama effect. And yet, I think the building was more active during the day at Ashmore than it was in the evening. And again, a remarkable experience. Me personally, Ashmore had a significant impact on me, and I'd like to go back there again. And I can't wait to edit and tell that story.
Well, and Robin says numerous times, if you think about it, what Ashmore was and its purpose, it would have been active during the day. It wouldn't have really been active all that much at night.
Most of these locations.
To try to, I think everybody gets away the taboo things are because a lot of the equipment now is set up to function better, like with the lasers and all that stuff. It's nighttime, so you're getting that creepy feel because you're in a location and everything's dark and it's scary and spooky. But I mean, we've done it before. We went to 101 and walked around it during the day and went to the basement and had experiences there, and with Ashmore and the Collingwood Art Center and different places. I think you don't do yourself a good service being a paranormal investigator or a ghost hunter, whatever you want to call it, without doing it during the day, without trying to get some experiences, because you're going to find that, I mean, it's not just at night. There's a lot of things going on during the day.
Yeah. And that was a true testament, Ashmore, that you don't need to be a paranormal investigator just at night, or lock yourself into a building just at night. That goes back to the question that was posed earlier in our podcast, was, were you ever scared? And I think it's that element of fear and the fear of the dark that some people have that makes that come to life. It gives that creepy feeling. And creepy feeling can be in the middle of the day with the sun shining and birds and butterflies flying around. I mean, it doesn't rest because you do, or the location is dark or creepy. So that's what I take.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. God, you got both of us to agree.
Right.
But it was such an experience. And we also have a side project off of that too, that the helmet. And we haven't decided what we're going to do with that yet and how we're going to do that. Because it didn't showcase the entire team, but I know that KD's interested in what we got. He definitely wants to see what we got because nobody's pushed it to the limits with like that. Nobody's tested his ghost helmet out like we did at that weekend. So as far as a testing of an equipment and experiment that way, I don't know if we're going to put out there. We haven't really discussed that, how we're going to put it together, but so much went on that weekend. So much went on. And so many different locations, so many different areas during the day, even simultaneously. While we're doing that one up here, you guys that have your experiences down there, just phenomenal. That is going to be an exciting episode because there's so much happening. But that's every episode. To me, that's every episode because
that's what I was saying.
Personal.
Something's different.
Yeah.
There's something different every time. Every location gives something different. It's not the same things that are happening each episode. There's always something different, always somebody having something different. I enjoy that. I enjoy seeing other people having different things and that kind of stuff. And
I'm still stuck with
each episode is different.
I'm still stuck with episode 2 with how it came together because, like I said, the personal experiences, but how you had to walk away, which is something that you almost never do. And then me, of course, sneaking up at the camera, you not even knowing I was there.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
But with Dave, like Dave said earlier, though, with you guys having the same similar experiences while you were off another place explaining to Teresa what you were experiencing, and Jeffrey having kind of some of the same. And it was just the personal experiences there was phenomenal. And it just, I don't know. Like I said, it was put together. And I put the link in the chat room too. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go up, scroll back a little bit, click on the link for episode 2. Go check it out. While you're there, subscribe and hit that alerts button too.
Hey Jay, what is everybody listening to?
We're listening to oh man, I almost forgot. I almost said the wrong show. The Paranormal Mysteries podcast on LEP Productions. Make me be professional there real quick, huh?
Right. I gotta do these plugs. Bigfoot, cryptid. If you like it, I got a place for you. Squatch GQ magazine. They accept Bigfoot stories and research evidence from anyone that wants to tell it or show it. Yearly subscriptions for printed copies, $99.99, $12.99 for each copy printed if you just order a single, $2.99 for any digital download. Check them out at www.squatchgqmagazine.com. January's edition is going to have a bunch of different people. David Childress, David Ullman, Dinah Palanzi. I hope I didn't just butcher your name. She's an author. She's on TV. She does radio cryptid research. There's also a column in there by Chatan Noir on the trail of, and Bodine the Bigfoot. They had a sit-down thing with Bodine the Bigfoot. Jay and I accompanied Bodine for that, and
can't leave unattended.
It's a good article, again, by Chatan Noir. Also, the time is now, 2020 Bigfoot Conference, July 18th, Wyndham Garden Hotel, Ann Arbor, Michigan. Doors open at 9 o'clock. Guests so far, Charlie Raymond, Leanne Carnegie, Mark DeWorth, and Chatan Noir. Tickets are $35. More info on that, 734-512-3988. And again, like we said earlier, the Bodine the Bigfoot should be in the conference area for that show.
You're on your own handling him to that one, man. I think he's going to go a bit crazy.
He might. We're going to have to get some moon pies, some Diet Mountain Dew, and some Ale-8 maybe, and keep him. You know, when he was at SilCon last year, the security took him and put him in a locked room for a while. We had to get him out of there, and that was quite a show. But hopefully he hopefully he does okay. We're getting him. I know you're working a lot with him down there, Jay, with getting him more accompanied and familiar with everyday people and that kind of thing. So he's blending in. He's doing good things, but as long as he has his moon pies, he'll be all right. So make sure to get your tickets for that Bigfoot conference. There's going to be a ton more. We got SilCon coming up as well. As soon as we get all the all the dates and everything for that, we'll give it to you. Author John Kuykendall is in the chat room right now, and he is the owner of Sasquatch or Squatch GQ magazine. And John, we appreciate you including Bodine and letting him be a part of your awesome magazine. So
yeah, and John Tincher just pointed out too that somebody wrote a song about Bodine too.
John Tincher
got the Bodine Mash.
From the Monster Mash.
Yes.
Tune. We need to get that uploaded and get it out there as well. So, just a lot of different things. A lot of different things coming up. And we're going to try to keep putting it out there. I know right now we're in the process of reviewing evidence for episode 3 from season 1. And hopefully we'll get that out to y'all here real soon. And please head over to the YouTube LEP Productions. Hit that red subscribe button so you get all the stuff when it comes out.
And smash that alert button.
Hit that red button. Subscribe.
And Dave's got his camera all fixed back up where he was showing us the fish. I'm gonna say you just don't sit there and watch that and fall asleep, man.
I used to.
That's why you don't watch it anymore?
It's relaxing.
It is.
I will say this: after keeping a saltwater fish tank, my advice to everybody is don't ever open your mouth in the ocean. So, believe it or not, there's over 5,000 organisms in that fish tank at any given moment, and a lot of them are ones you can't see. So.
Did you see that in the chat there, Jason? John Tincher said should make a video of it. He's got a concept in mind.
Let's do it, John. That'll. Don't you threaten me with a good time.
Looks like we'll be making a trip to Kentucky to film a video with Bodine and his song.
Yeah, don't you? We got to get some pictures together as well for John too. So.
Also, we got to go down to see John for John.
Yep, John.
I'm getting confused, Dave. It's all your show, man. I'm done.
So what else we want to talk about? Is there anything else, Dave, that you want to talk about or mention? Or
let's see. I will say if you live close to the Toledo area and you've not been to the Collingwood Art Center, that is a very worthy place of your time. And the history itself is absolutely amazing. And there is a very high probability for you being a part of activity that is going on there. That was a fun location to be at. We did not film an episode of Paranormal Mysteries there. I don't know if that's in our books.
It is.
It is.
I know a guy that can get us in there. So yeah, we're good to go.
Okay. That is a very, very cool place. Just the history part of it is pretty cool. And, some of our other locations that we've been at have been very fun to be a part of. And I will mention this is that Jason is, he loves the technology, and I give props to you for embracing that. But Jason is not a drone pilot by any means.
How do you know that? You've never seen me fly it. You want to know why you've never seen me fly it?
Because you can't.
Because I've never flown it. I ordered it specifically for filming for this and turned it over to you because you are the drone pilot. I, sir, have never even tried to fly the damn thing. I'm too scared to even try to fly it.
You know, I'm not even going to take it out of the box. I'm not going to touch it.
He won't even, there's a couple of pieces of equipment he won't even take out of the back of my car to take it in. He's like, no, I ain't touching that. Nope. I ain't touching that.
I have the worst luck in the world. It'll break on me for sure as the world, and I'm not touching it. I didn't touch it. It ain't my fault.
Get rid of all the investigating and the filming, stuff like that. If somebody said, what was one thing you enjoy that you do for Paranormal Mysteries, and that's being the drone pilot. That is a lot of fun. That is a lot of fun to do.
I don't even want to practice with it. I thought about buying one of the little cheap ass ones just at the house. I thought, then I'll get a stupid idea that, I can fly it. And next thing it's in the lines, or it's into a wall, and it's broke, and you guys hate my guts. No, I'm not touching it.
Yeah, I don't even pretend to know how to fly that damn thing. I just, when we get to a location and we're like, hey, let's do some drone footage, I'm like, Dave, here you go. Here's the drone. Get what you need out of it.
Hey, Jay, go get the drone for Dave. Nope, not touching it. I'll go open up the hatch so he can get it out, but I'm not touching it. Not even in the box.
I'm interested to see when the drone footage that you did for episode 2 was really cool. The entry, using the map, and then the drone footage that was shot there is really cool. What I'm waiting to see is our last episode that we filmed, that drone footage, because I think that's really going to be cool. Yeah, and we shot some of that at night, and I need to go back and on location again and shoot some daytime footage to kind of give it the perspective that it deserves. Right. Yeah, because that's cool, man. And what a great location to end season 1 with. I mean, that location again is, it's amazing. Yeah, it is. The history and everything else with it is phenomenal. That's the season. That's the episode where Teresa got mad at me because I kept pushing her so much. Because bless her heart, Tina couldn't make it. So Teresa was our only psychic medium at the time. So of course, I was mean. No, but that's what we do. We push each other. We do. We challenge each other. You know when somebody's had too much and they have to step back and walk away for a second, and we'll never push or be disrespectful at any location, to any entity or team member. But how do you know what's next if you don't try to do what's next? Right. You have to keep pushing yourself. Even if you're just a little uncomfortable, you can still go. And we've done it with Dave. We've done it with everybody. Hell, you and I have done it to each other. We've done it to each other now for about 9 years now. Right. Bet you won't take another. Well, that's how you end up eating a spider on stirring the pot. Yeah. Eating a whole damn tarantula. What in the hell was I thinking? But and that's what makes this puzzle fit. That's brotherly love. Pushing each other to the point where people are like, I don't think I want to. Well, why not? Let's talk about it. Why don't you want to? Well, it's if it's not going to hurt you, try it. See if you like it. See, and you keep doing it, and you push each other, and that leads to different experiences. Some of the experiences that I've had, I would have never had you not said, take one more step. I dare you. Just take one more step. Go sit in there for a minute. I dare you. I would have never have had some of the experiences had somebody not said that to me. So I embrace it. Here's a question I have for you guys with your years of experience behind this is, I've posted a few photographs on Facebook, and a lot of the people in the community where I live have come up to me and said, hey, do you really do that? Are you really a ghost hunter? Are you really going into these areas? And I told them, yeah, and they were like, oh, I could never do that, and stuff like that. So how do you guys handle people that just find out or get wind of the fact that on the side, one of your hobbies is paranormal investigating? I can tell you years ago when I first started doing this and people would do that, I'd always try to validate validate what I'm doing or validate the field or whatever. Now I just basically tell them, if you're willing to and want an experience, then we'll go and do something or whatever. But I don't try to validate anymore with anybody, because if you don't believe in it and you don't think that it exists, who am I to try to tell you that it does or doesn't? I know what I've had happen to me. I know my experiences. I know what I've done, and I can only share those stories. But I stopped trying to validate any of that with anybody, because it's you're either going to believe it or not. And if you want an experience, if you want to open your mind up, I think you're only doing yourself a disservice if you think that we're the only things present here on Earth. I think there's different dimensions. That's a whole nother ball of wax, but I just stopped trying to validate what I do to other people, with other people. So if you want to learn, if you want to have some experience, and I can make that happen. But that's the way I handle it now.
Put you in situations where it could happen. We can put you in places that you might experience something that you cannot explain. Me, I get the stare like I've been getting since I was a child. What is wrong with you? What are you thinking? Because I've always done things that's outside the norm, and it's just who I am as a person. This is one of the few things I've ever done that's not caused me pain. So I'm cool. I'm good with yet. But it's something I've always done. I've always pushed the limits with things. It's just who I am as a human being, and I've always questioned things. So when I got involved in the paranormal side of it, it was more of a mind thing and an experience thing than a physical thing. So I enjoy that a lot more because it makes me think, it makes me progress. But like I said, I've always just kind of looked at me like, of course you do. What else you gonna do? Because I've always been harebrained and into the abstract and doing stupid stuff. So, but I try to get through the people's minds that it's not what they think it is. I hate it when you get people that automatically throw up that it's all demons. Okay, you're done. There's no reason to discuss this with you. You're that adamant about it. You will not open your mind up to the possibilities of what might or might not be there. So it's just standard procedure. What were you thinking? Oh, it's Jason's fault. It's Teresa's fault. If you always know something, I blame somebody else all the time.
And you said the D. You said the D word. Demon. I have a hard time not saying that demons don't exist, not saying that there isn't that kind of thing going on. I've just yet to run into one, I guess, because I think that entities and spirits, what somebody may think or interpret as demonic or dark or whatever, may just be an overload for you with this entity trying to get your attention, like a slamming door or a scratch. Or I don't technically think that that's like a demonic spirit. I think that it's like reaching out to you saying, hey, this is the only way that I can get your attention. So I'm going to have to do this to get your attention, to be like, oh, shit, well, I guess there is something here or whatever. So I have a hard time processing the fact that there's the abundance of demons and dark energy that
everywhere
people are putting out there, that the door slammed. It's got to be a demon. It's got to be a dark energy. It's got to be pissed. And it's got, why does it have to be that? That's what I struggle a lot with this field is, and especially these days,
overinterpretation.
Everything is a demon, or it's the devil, or it's a portal to hell, or is it really? I mean, seriously, is it?
I'm sorry. I'm still smiling when you say that. I'm sorry.
I'm probably going to piss some people off, and send me an IM and we can talk about it. We'll hug later. But I think
as a first year rookie investigator, I think one of the things that I've been able to bring to the table, and then in my own mind, is, people that get the scratches, the people that get a personal touch, they get hands through their hair or feeling like they're being touched and stuff like that. And I think you hit the nail on the head, Jason, and what I've told people, it's like going into a swimming pool where you're that kid that's not tall enough to stand up and be able to breathe. At the moment your feet hit the floor of the swimming pool, the water's over your head. And when you're in a situation like that, what is that child going to do? They're going to grab onto, they're going to claw, they're going to scratch, they're going to climb all over.
They're going to panic.
The closest thing that they can to get that breath to breathe. And I think, people like Tina, people like Teresa that are really sensitive, and people that have those scratches on their necks and so forth, that's what they are to a spirit. They are an opportunity to breathe again. And they will do what they can to get their attention, to, say, hey, I'm here. And that's the door slamming, that's the scratches, on the arms and the neck. That's exactly what that's the analogy that I've used with people is what I've seen and can say that has been experienced for others. I have not been scratched. I feel the tingles, the hair on the back of my neck stands up. I get all of that, but, I haven't been physically touched, and that's okay.
That's okay. But what happens when you do get touched?
Well, then that's another experience. That's just one more thing to chalk up. But again, goes back to the beginning. It's like we come full circle again. Is do I ever feel scared? I don't ever feel scared. I'm ready to go into something and find out, and like you said, Jason, validate. Here to validate.
Yep, I agree. I agree 100%. And trust me, the first time you have something touch you when you're not expecting it, it's a cool experience. And all the things that you use as a reference, you talk about people with hands running through their hair. All three of us are damn near bald. We don't have that experience ever.
Right.
But yeah, we was at Ashmore Estates a few years ago when I had something first touched me for the first time. That was an experience. And that was one of the times I had not opened up yet. I had not allowed them to touch me or anything like that. I was sitting in the corner minding my own business. I wasn't even a part of the session that was going on. I was sitting in the corner, opposite end of the room away from them. So did it scare me? No. Did it surprise me, make me question things? Absolutely. Walked across the room, I'm like, something just touched my effing head. Who the F just touched me? I was, but I went right back in immediately into investigate. I went out in the hallway to look, see if anybody was out there, But I went right back down and immediately sat back down the spot that I was at and said, okay, do it again. I dare you, do it again. I want to experience that again. Do it again. Of course, it didn't happen again, but when it caught me completely off guard, I was like, yeah, no, I got to move. Didn't run, but I had to move. I had to move to the other side of the room and went right back to the chair.
And see, that's the part that I don't understand about the TV shows. And it's not just one, it's multiple shows, and it's happened for years. And I sit there, and that's kind of why I stopped watching. And Jay, you and I have talked. The only reason that I started watching again, Ghost of Morgan City with KD, and then Trending Fear with Paul.
Yep.
It's the only reason I'm watching that stuff again is because I we support them and everything else. And with my buddy Bruce Tango, I'll watch him too, and his boy. But it drives me nuts to watch these shows, and something happens, and they get this experience, and they catch this stuff, and then what do? They leave. They walk out. They go somewhere else. It's like that's why you're there.
You just asked for it.
You're there to get that. You just got supposedly a direct response to what you wanted, and your response to that is, well, we got to leave and reassess this. Why? That part drives me absolutely nuts.
No.
Why people want to leave when that happens?
In episode two, let's go there with Dave. Dave done a phenomenal job with that portion of it and stuff. Tina didn't want to leave. We made her leave. We took her out of the situation because she was not able to make herself leave. But the way Dave, instead of just going away and assessing all that stuff, Dave kept saying, camera with her, how are you feeling? What do you feel? How do you feel? Why is this? Why is that? To get that immediate interaction and not have time to think about it and have it be rationalized, and then it's going to be not as effective as a story, in my opinion. That was some phenomenal thing. And that's something that when you walked off in episode 2, I followed you. You didn't want me to, but I snuck around and followed you anyway. To get that perspective and in your face at that moment is something else that I think we're very passionate about with this group, Paranormal Mysteries, because we push each other, but we also want to know why. Why do you feel that way? Why? What's the feeling that you have? What's this? And why do you feel like that? It keeps another direction with it, and it keeps it very in the moment. And I love that about it. And it's come through on both episodes so far. It's really come through that in the moment, and it's cooler than hell.
What was unique about episode 2 is when Jason had to put the camera down and walk away. I did not know that. I did not know he was feeling, because I was focused on what I was filming at that moment. And
he tried to sneak out.
Well, what was unique about that moment was he's in another room needing to shed layers of clothes off of him because he's burning up. And then I started to feel the exact same thing while I was capturing what I was capturing. And then to go back and see that and then figure out a way to edit those two pieces together and show the viewer this was going on simultaneously. You got Jason in a room and not feeling himself, and then you have Jeffrey and myself in another room starting to feel the exact same way. That was a very neat thing to experience, and it was cool to edit that as well.
And then you got Tina there, the psychic medium that was staying in the room with you guys, going, I got nothing. And at that time, she didn't. Now, the basement was a whole different ballgame for her. But at that point in time, she kept saying that Jason's having an experience. You and Jeffrey's having yours. She's over there like, I got nothing. I'm feeling nothing. That was odd. The sensitive felt nothing. The people who are non-sensitive felt things. That was like, role reversal.
And like Dave said, it was neat to be able to, because I had no idea what they were experiencing. I just knew that I was burning up. I was so hot and so uncomfortable to the point where I was feeling nauseous. And that's why I'm like, I'm either going to puke or I got to hand this camera off. So I hand the camera off, and I just needed to go get some air. I just wanted to be out of that room for a minute to try to get my thoughts together. And if in fact I puked, I didn't want to puke in front of everybody. So I was like, this is
just me and the camera.
But then to come to find out after everything was done, when I walked back in that room, you guys were having the same experiences, and to be able to collaborate that together and have 3 different people having the same experiences and not knowing until the end that all 3 of us were having the same thing, and to be able to capture that's a cool piece of evidence.
Yeah, it really is.
Yep, I agree. Sam Anderson said he's been in the chat. He says, I've been held down, pushed down, scratched, and been in the ER over spirits. Doesn't mean they were demonic. If we heard a noise, we ran to it and discussed it in the moment, which is why we investigate. And that's exactly what we're agreeing with 1,000%. The people that run from it, you want that experience and you go away from it. Don't try to figure out what it is. I just don't understand that. I agree.
Me too. Yeah, absolutely.
Where'd you get that cool ass hat, by the way?
Well, the hat?
See, there's
the hat I got on Amazon Prime.
With that said, I'm done with the show.
That's where I got the hat.
I'm done. Dave?
I think we need hats, Jay.
I agree.
I know a guy that can get you some hats.
I'm going to find out where we can order a hat like that on Amazon Prime. I'm going to see if I have an LAP production hat on Amazon Prime.
Well, the hat itself was from Amazon
Oh,
Prime.
yeah. See, smart asses.
And then my buddy Kevin Stearns, who owns Always Promoting here in Maumee, then put the LAP Productions logo on the hat.
Let me guess, he's got one also that's got Paranormal Mysteries logo on it.
There's a Paranormal Mysteries logo on that too, and we've got jackets and other things too. So yeah, I know a guy that can get you some hats.
I know a guy that
jackets.
knows a guy.
I know a guy that knows the dude that can make them.
Damn. Why is he gotta be so complicated, Dave?
Hey, you've been around him for what, 9 years now? It's been a year for me, so I'm just learning this stuff.
John Tincher in the chat room already. I want a hat.
No, you know what, John? I would be more than happy to give you a hat, but
You made me
you sent me a damn tarantula a week and a half ago that I had to eat.
You didn't have to eat it.
I'm gonna revisit that. We'll see if I can't get you a hat.
Jeez, Leanne says she wants a T-shirt or a hoodie. And
I'm
yes,
gonna tell you what.
I just said the hoodie
if you
word.
guys, you did say hoodie, didn't you?
I said
you
it.
read it.
I said
You
because
read it.
I read
You
it.
didn't even realize it.
I hate that word. I hate that word. I hate that word.
He hates hoodie. Yeah, if you guys send myself or Jay an IM, and I'll get you prices, and if you want paranormal mystery stuff or LAP production stuff, I get it to you. That's no problem.
Well, you got anything else you want to kind of wrap this up, or you guys? I know it's been great having you on, Dave. I've enjoyed talking with you like this.
First of all, just to end things here, thank you guys for thinking of me and
Of course.
making me a part of the family and including me in on a lot of this and taking me seriously and appreciating the work that I've done. And I hope the people that get to benefit from this in the long run appreciate the hard work and the effort that goes into it. My wife, Candy, she's been a champ when it comes to me sitting hours in the production table and doing the post edits and making this all come together. It's quite a ride. I do know it does take a while, so your patience has been phenomenal. And we are definitely in post-production time for episode 3. So we will have episode 3, which is that's going to be a fun edit for me, and that's a lot of footage to go through.
Oh yeah.
Well, and we can't thank you enough. And Candy, if you can hear me, I thank you as well.
Absolutely.
The time that this is a Sunday afternoon, and you're sitting on air with us for an hour and a half. We appreciate your time. I will, when I see you again, LEP Productions does have a small gift for you and your wife for the amount of time that you've put in for doing the things that you do for us. So hopefully it'll be a fun thing for you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
But yeah, we can't thank you enough for it's a ton of time that you're putting in to make this come to life, and we appreciate it, and happy to have you along for sure.
Absolutely, man. I can't say it enough. I agree with that more than anything. It's just a good time. It's with a great bunch of people, and I'm privileged that you even take the time to put up with my stupid questions. Because I do have a lot of them, man. It's like sometimes it's like babysitting dummies, but thanks for doing everything that you do. And Candy, like I said, we don't say that enough that our wives or like Tina with her boyfriend and stuff, what they sacrifice for our passion for this, and it does need to be said that we appreciate everything that they do and their patience and tolerance for allowing you to put up with us and enjoy things with us. So
Absolutely.
It hats off to them too. Well, with that said, I think we want to wrap it up. Dave, like I said, man, we have to get you back on again with your candor and stuff and your wonderful voice there. You might have to start replacing me every once in a while on Sunday, and you and Jason do the show.
Anytime. I'll be happy to.
So, but you guys, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for joining us. Jason, you guys say the goodbyes, man, because you got that big professional hat on. I got this Ghost Soldiers hat advertised for somebody else.
But you will have hats. Again, thanks for listening to LEP Productions Paranormal Mysteries Podcast on Sundays. We're going to try to do it here a little earlier during the day to give everybody the opportunity to spend time with family and everything at night. I do have to say again, I know we've mentioned it a few times, check out www.squatsgqmagazine.com. Great stuff going on there. January's edition has a ton of great people, has a ton of great articles. Boating the Bigfoot was featured in that one, and we thank John for including us in on that. Get your tickets for the Bigfoot conference July 18th at the Wyndham Garden Hotel in Ann Arbor, Michigan. For more information, call 734-512-3988. Make sure you hit LEP Productions YouTube, hit that subscribe button. You get all the notifications when episode 3 is going to be coming out. Also, I can tell you that the Collingwood Arts Center has posted our public investigations for 2020. Our first one will be February 29th, and it will showcase Erie Shores Paranormal. What Lexi and I have done with the Collingwood this year is we have set up 5 dates throughout 2020 that are going to be public investigations, and we're featuring different local teams that have supported us throughout the years and trying to give back to them a little bit. So February 29th, Erie Shores Paranormal will be your guest. Get your tickets for that. April 18th will be Togs. June 13th will be Paranormal Mysteries. August 29th will be Haunted Toledo, and we're going to end out the year October 17th with 222 Paranormal. So again, we're going to feature different teams throughout the year to give you a chance to investigate with different local places. So again, can't thank you enough for tuning in. Always loving the support and everything else. And make sure you tune in tomorrow to Sit, Chat, and Laugh with the Lynches.
No, actually, we won't be on tomorrow night. We'll be on a show with Cinnamon Moon. We were a guest on the show tonight. There'll be no Sit, Chat, and Laugh tomorrow night.
All right, then disregard Sit, Chat, and Laugh.
So make sure you join in Tuesday night, though, at 8 p.m. Eastern for the TNT show with Teresa and Tina and all their woo-woo stuff. And then, of course, at 9 p.m. with Jason, myself, and Joe with Stirring the Pot. There is a topic for this week. I have a topic I want to discuss.
Let's do it.
So,
Dave, thanks again. I appreciate
you guys.
everything you do.
Yep, appreciate you guys both.
everybody have a great Sunday. We're gone. See ya.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.